All right, we are on the last example on page 4, and this is a general form of a quadratic. Now, we saw these before, like with circles and stuff, only since this is under the ellipse section, I'm guessing it's an ellipse. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our x squares and our x's together, and our y squares and our y's together, and we're going to get all our numbers on the other side. So that's our first step, is to kind of group our stuff. So x64, x squared minus 320x, and then I'm going to leave some room, and then plus 144y squared plus 504y. I'm going to leave some room. I'm going to add 455 to both sides to go ahead and get that puppy on the other side of the equation, so it's going to equal 455. Now, how does that look? Pretty good?
Spectacular.
All right. Remember, when you're looking at the general form of one of these equations, either ellipse or circle, it's always x minus h quantity square plus y minus k quantity square. That means the number in front of the x square has to be gone. So I've got to factor that number out. So that's the first thing I want to do. So I'm going to pull out a 64 here. This is going to become x squared minus, and 60 times 5 would be 300. So this is going to be 5x, and I'm going to leave that open. So far, so good? And I guess what we'll do, let's go ahead and work down this x side, and then we'll work down our y side, instead of doing one step at a time on each.
Okay.
So if we're completing the square here, if you want to draw it, you can. Here's your x squared. I need to put 5x and split it into 2, so that's going to be 5 halves x. And in this case, since this is a minus 5 halves, it would be negative 5 halves. So what's going to go down here on the bottom? 25 fourths? Does that look good to everybody?
Yes.
So I'm going to have to add 25 fourths inside here. I didn't really add 25 fourths. What did I really add? I really added 64 times 25 fourths. So what I'm going to do is put plus 64 times 25 over 4. And that's only because I don't want to have to figure it all out yet. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as a perfect square, so we'll kind of know what it looks like, okay? So it looks like 64 parenthesis x minus 5 halves quantity squared. Are we okay with that one?
Yes.
Now let's move back over here, and we're going to start trying to complete the square on this y squared one. Remember, this has to be a coefficient of 1, so I have got to factor that 144 out. Okay? 144 times y squared. Now I'm going to do a quick little technology move here. 504 divided by 144 comes out to 3.5, so 7 halves. Plus 7 halves y. Okay. Now, I have to complete the square on that one. So I'm going to draw that just right here. All right. Here's my y squared. If I have to put 7 halves in half, what's half of 7 halves?
7 fourths.
7 fourths. So that's 7 fourths y. That's 7 fourths y. What's going to go down on the bottom here?
49 sixteenths.
49 sixteenths. Perfect. So I need to add 49 sixteenths. Now I didn't really add 49 sixteenths. What I really did was I added 144 times 49 sixteenths. So let's do this the right way. 455 plus 64 times 25 over 4 plus 144 times 49 over 16. Now, if that's not complicated enough, it's really not bad. We're going to rewrite this as plus 144 times y plus 7 fourths quantity squared equals. Now is when we're going to figure out what all that is on the other side. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to add 455 to the 64 times 25 divided by 4. And I'm going to add that to the 144 times 49 divided by 16. My total comes out to 1296. So, when I did this, this, and this, added them all together, I get 1296. All right?
But we're not done.
No, we're not done. Now, here's what we have to do. We're going to have to divide this whole enchilada by 1296 because whenever you have these, they are equal to 1. All right, it's important they equal 1. So we're going to do 1296 into each of these. And so what I will do is 1296 divided by 64 gives me, not what I wanted. But I can write it as a fraction. It gives me 0.25, but I want to write it as a fraction, so this is actually going to be x over 5/2 squared, and this is over 81/4. Plus, I know it's ugly, and then I'll do the 1296 divided by the 144.
Is it legal to have a fraction?
It's legal for this one, for the ellipse, yes. It looks better. It's the same thing. This is the same thing as 20.25, but since this is actually a square, it's easier to find the square root if I leave it as a fraction.
Okay.
This one goes in 9 times, so it's y plus 7/4, quantity square all over 9 equals 1. So where it says standard equation at the bottom there, this is what you should have in. X minus 5/2 squared over 81/4 plus y plus 7/4 squared all over 9 equals 1. And then it asks you to fill in your center. My center would be 5/2 comma negative 7/4. And it wants to know my major axis length.
That'd be square root of 81/4, which would
Well, first, let's see. What's this right here? This is my A.
Mhm.
This is obviously bigger, right? Or
Yep.
A square.
Well, that is
A square equals 81/4. So what's A equal to?
9/2.
9/2, right? And it wants to know the major axis length.
be, which is
So
9.
2 times 9/2, exactly. It would be 9. Okay, your major axis length, which would be 2A, would be 9 in this case. So since A is under the X, what does that mean? It's going to be a horizontal major axis on that one.
It's gonna have a flat head.
Yes. Okay, and that's going to do it.